They didn't see a miracle worker that night. They saw a beat-up pickup, a tired black man in a hoodie, and a chance to feel powerful for a few minutes. And honestly, I knew it the second those lights came on behind me, that familiar tightening in my chest, the quiet voice in my head saying, "Here we go again." It was close to midnight, one of those humid southern nights where the air feels thick enough to grab. I'd been on my feet for almost 30 hours straight, running on bad coffee and muscle memory, just trying to make it home. The truck I was driving looked rough, no point pretending otherwise. Old paint, a dented tailgate engine that rattled like it had something to complain about. It used to belong to my uncle, a man who worked with his hands and believed a vehicle didn't have to look good to get you where you needed to go. I kept it because it reminded me where I came from. To them, though, it looked like a stereotype rolling on 4 tires. The red and blue lights hit my mirrors, washing the cab in color. I checked my speed out of habit. Perfectly legal. Signaled, pulled over, engine off, window down, hands on the wheel where they could see them. If you've lived my life, you know the routine. You don't argue, you don't move fast, you don't give anyone a reason to decide you're a problem. 2 officers approached. One hung back, quiet, younger. The other came up hard, confident hand already hovering near his belt like he'd practiced that move in the mirror. His flashlight hit my face and I squinted. "License and registration," he said, not even pretending it was a conversation. I told him where it was moved, slow, felt my shoulders tense as he watched every inch of my hands. He looked at my license, then at me, then back at the license, and I saw that little smirk form. The one that says, "I've already decided who you are." "You serious?" he said. "This says you're some kind of doctor." "Yes, sir," I replied. "That's correct." He laughed loud and sharp. "Man, you gotta do better than that. Doctors don't drive trash like this." I felt that old sting, the one I thought I'd outgrown. All the nights studying all the doors I'd pushed open, and in his eyes, none of it mattered. I told him my profession kept my voice calm. He turned to his partner like I was entertainment. "Listen to this," he said. "We got a big-time genius out here." She didn't laugh. She glanced at the back of my truck, noticed details he didn't seem interested in. She suggested running my information and letting it go. He ignored her. That's when he said the word. The one word that strips you down no matter how old you get, no matter how far you've climbed. Boy. Something shifted in me. Not anger exactly, more like clarity. I corrected him politely, and that's when his tone changed. "Step out of the vehicle." I knew better than to push back. I stepped out slowly, taller than he expected, which clearly didn't help. Hands on the hood. Legs apart, cold metal under my palms. He searched me rough, talking the whole time about how guys like me always claim to be important. When he pulled my phone from my pocket without asking, I warned him. Once. Told him it wasn't personal property, told him he really should check my credentials before things went sideways. He didn't like that at all. Next thing I knew, my wrists were cuffed behind my back. Disorderly conduct resisting, and then the classic line, "I smell something." A lie so lazy, it was almost insulting. His partner hesitated, clearly uncomfortable, and I looked at her. "My ID is in my jacket," I said. "There's a black card behind my license. Please look at it." He snapped at her to stand down and shoved me toward the back of the truck. While he started tearing through the cab, I leaned against the tailgate and did math in my head. Timing mattered. There were systems in place that didn't care about local authority or bruised egos. Systems that noticed when things didn't check in. He found my medication, first shook it like a trophy. "Unlabeled pills," he said. "That's a problem." I told him what it was. He didn't care. Then he found the case. It didn't belong in that truck, and anyone with half a brain could tell. Smooth black, sealed, no zippers, just a scanner and keypad. His eyes lit up like he'd finally been proven right. "What's this?" he asked, already smiling. My heart rate spiked. I told him clearly to leave it alone. Told him it was government property. Classified. Dangerous to tamper with. I wasn't threatening him, I was warning him. He laughed, said I watched too many movies. Then he raised his baton. "Don't," I said, not loud, certain. He swung anyway. The sound that came out of that case wasn't normal. High-pitched electronic cutting through the night. Red lights flashed. He panicked, hit it again, demanded codes I couldn't give. When it went quiet, he smirked like he'd won. I checked my watch. "It didn't shut off," I said. "It locked down." He called my bluff until I told his partner to grab my phone and call the emergency contact labeled Sentinel. She hesitated, then did it. The voice that answered wasn't a dispatcher. It was calm, mechanical, and very, very serious. It asked for verification and informed us politely that our location was now under observation. That's when we heard the rotors. At first, it was just a vibration, a low hum you felt in your bones. Then the sky lit up. Spotlights turned the highway into daylight. Wind slammed into us as helicopters hovered low. Black SUVs rolled in without sirens, moving like they'd rehearsed it. Men in tactical gear stepped out, quiet, efficient. No yelling, no posturing. One of them went straight to my cuffs, unlocked them without a word, and asked if I was hurt. Another stood between me and the officer, who suddenly looked very small. A senior official arrived moments later, eyes hard, movements controlled. He inspected the damaged case, then turned to the officer and asked who did it. The officer tried to explain. Probable cause, suspicion, attitude. The official listened, then said one name, his daughter's. The silence after that was heavy. The officer's face drained of color. The rookie spoke up, told the truth about what happened, about the warnings ignored. That honesty changed her life. They took him away, hooded, screaming about rights and unions. I didn't feel satisfaction, just relief that it was over. We moved fast after that, helicopter straight to the facility. I scrubbed in hands raw, mind focused. The device he'd damaged wasn't destroyed, just locked down. I'd built it that way for a reason. Hours later, after sweat and silence and controlled chaos, the monitors changed. A life stabilized. A future stayed intact. Months later, the courtroom was packed. He stood there in orange, smaller than I remembered. The sentence came down hard. Years. No badge, no pension. The final witness was the rookie now, federal now, trusted with protecting the very work he'd tried to ruin. When the gavel fell, I didn't smile. I just nodded. Because this wasn't about punishment. It was about consequence. About how quickly power crumbles when it's built on prejudice instead of integrity. So let me ask you something. Was the punishment fair or too much for one bad stop? Have you ever watched someone get judged before they ever opened their mouth? And if you were in my place that night, tired and pushed and disrespected, would you have stayed calm or snapped? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think, and I read every single one.